Hello class. So today we'll be looking at 9.2, measuring area and volume. Remember in 9.1 we was measuring length and we used meters. This time we're going to be using area and volume. So we're going to introduce a couple of other things. So our objective is to use square units to measure area, use dimensional analysis to change units for area, use cubic units to measure volume, use English and metric units to measure capacity. So, measuring square units. So, square units, a square unit, each of whose size are 1 unit in length. So just like remember when we used to find the area of a triangle, not a triangle, but a square, it was length times width. So if we do unit times unit, we'll get unit squared. So if we have 1 inch by 1 inch, it'll be 1 inch squared. Or 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter, it'll be 1 centimeter squared. It's just multiplication. So let's look at this next slide. So it says, what is the area of the region? So what we want to do is count across. So we see we have 4 going across and 3 going down. So if we did 4 times 3, it'd be what? 12. So it's 12 square units. Now another way you could have did this is just count the boxes. It would work the same. Just understand you need to make sure you have your square units. So, as I said before, dealing with square units, if I have a foot by a foot, it'd be 1 square foot. Now, if we have 12 inches by 12 inches, it'll be 144 squared inches. If I got 1 square yard, 1 yard by 1 yard is 1 square yard, which is the same as saying I got 3 feet by 3 feet, which is 9 square feet. So whatever you learned last time, now you're going to square those things. Now in the next slide, I have all these written down. So let's check it out. So we have 1 square foot is equal to 144 square inches. I have 1 square yard is equal to 9 square feet. I have 1 acre is equal to 43,560 square feet, or 4,840 square yards. I have 1 square mile is equal to 640 acres. And the population density is equal to the population over the area. So make sure you take a second and write this stuff down. So let's look at our first example. One of our second example, actually. So it says after Alaska, Wyoming is the least densely populated state. The population of Wyoming is 568,158, and its area is 97,814 square miles. What is the Wyoming's population density? All right. Remember, population density is equal to the population, which is 568,158, divided by the 97,814. So take a minute, put that in the calculator. You get roughly 5.8. Now, what this is saying is 5.8 people per square mile. So people per square mile. Now, otherwise we would say it was 6 people per square mile. All right, if we round it up. Make sure if you have any questions, you send them through Microsoft Teams. Make sure that you're understanding what we're doing. This population density formula was given into the slide previously. All right, let's look at the next slide. So 1 square inch is approximately 6.5 square centimeters. 1 square foot is approximately 0.09 square meters. 1 square yard is approximately 0.8 square meters. And 1 square mile is approximately 2.6 square kilometers or kilometers. And 1 acre is approximately 0.4 hectare, which is HA. So this is the English and metric equivalencies for area. So this is something you're going to have to use when you take your test and when you're getting through all the different sections. So you're doing the same thing you did in last section, but you're just bringing these square units, not in the other units, just regular units. So take a minute and write these down. So let's look at a problem. So a property in Italy is advertised at $545,000 for 6.8 hectares. Find the area of the property in acres. What is the price per acre? So we start out with 6.8 hectare. Multiply it. So now we have to look. So we know that we had in 1 acre, we have what? 0.4 hectare. Now from here we see that the hectare what? Cancel out. So we're going to really have what? 6.8 over 0.4, and this is being acres. So this is equal to roughly about 17 acres. So you should have got 17 acres. Now to figure out what is the price per acre, we take our 545,000 divided by 17. Then we get roughly about $32,059 per acre. So it depends on where you're at in Italy. That might not be bad. Or it could be, depending on part of Italy you're in. That's more for you to decide, right? All right, let's look at our next thing. So measuring volume. So, volume refers to the amount of space occupied by a three-dimensional figure. In order to measure this space, we begin by selecting a cubic unit. So 1 cubic foot is equal to 12 squared, which is what? 1,728 cubic inches. 1 cubic yard is equal to 27 cubic feet because it's 3 squared, 3 cubed. So it'd be 27 cubic feet. So if you remember, when you did the volume of a cube, it was length times width times height. So it'll be 1 times 1 times 1, which gives you 1 cubic unit. So let's look at this example right here. It says, what is the volume of the solid? So we know that going this direction, we have 3. Going down, we have 2. Then going across, down the back, we have what? 3. So 3 times 3 times 2 gives us what? So it's 3 times 3 times 2. So that's 9 times 2, and which is that is 18. So 18 cubic units. So 18 cubic units. So I'll write that out, 18 cubic. It's cubic units. All right, so that's how you find that. Or you could have actually counted it. If you notice, they said that you know that the top, it has a bottom, which is the same. So understanding that it's an equal amount that's going to be on the top and the bottom. So we know that we can just count the top and multiply by 2. All right, capacity. The amount of fluid that a three-dimensional object can hold. 1 cup is equal to 8 ounces. 4 quarts is equal to 1 gallon. 1 gallon is equal to 128 ounces. 1 cup is equal to 8 fluid ounces. 1 cubic yard is about 200 gallons. 1 cubic foot is about 7.4 gallons. And 231 cubic inches is about 1 gallon. So just make sure you understand what's going on. So let's look at an example of this. So a swimming pool has a volume of 22,500 cubic feet. How many gallons of water can the pool hold? So we start off with our 22,500 cubic feet. All right. So now we're looking at what? We're trying to figure out how many gallons. So we know that there's 7.48 gallons per 1 cubic foot using the chart we just had. So we see that our cubic feet goes away, and we end up with what? 168,300 gallons of water. So keep in mind that when you go to a pool, they do not clean out the water every time. So that's why they tell you don't go up under the water, don't be swallowing the water, because the water is not literally clean and it's not let out every day, and it's not fresh water every day. So just make sure you listen to what they tell you to do when you go to a pool. That's a lot of water. All right. So let's look at some units of capacity in metric system. So we have kiloliters, hectoliters, decaliters, and our base unit is going to be liters. And we have liter. 1 liter is approximately 1.06 quarts. We have deciliter and centiliter and milliliter. So we're going to do this exactly the same way we did the meters one. We will move it to the left or move it to the right. So remember, in this video, you can always pause it to write everything down, or to take your time to write everything down. So if we look at volume and capacity in the metric system, we have 1 cubic centimeter is equal to 1 milliliter. We have 1 cubic decimeter is equal to 1,000 cubic centimeters, which is also equal to 1 liter. We have 1 cubic meter is equal to 1 kiloliter. And we're going to use these, of course. So it says an aquarium has a volume of 36,000 cubic centimeters. So we got 36,000 cubic centimeters. How many liters of water does the aquarium hold? So I know that in 1 liter, I have what? 1,000 cubic centimeters. So therefore, my cubic centimeters goes away. And then basically I'm in liters, so it should be only 36 liters. Because before we know that 1,000 cubic centimeters equal what? 1 liter. So make sure you look over this video again to make sure you get through and you get everything that you need. Make sure if you have any questions, you send me a message through Microsoft Teams, or send me an email.